What does this image mean? When I first saw this movie poster, that's the question I was asking myself. With the sun glistening behind him, we're introduced to a character in a striking red suit, yellow vest, and clown makeup, the Joker. He appears in a blissful state, eyes closed, his arms outstretched in apparent triumph. His face is in profile, small. If the actor's name wasn't directly below, it would be hard to tell exactly who is playing this villain. This is not usually how you advertise an A-list movie star. There are no floating heads, no quirky taglines, and even the star's name is subdued, all in the service of this central image. But what does this image mean? What is he doing? What's with the stairs, the sunshine, the outstretched arms? There were no answers until you saw the movie. And that's one reason why I think this is one of the best movie posters of the 2010s. By 2019, audiences were very familiar with the character of the Joker, having witnessed several iconic portrayals in television and film. When Warner Brothers started to advertise their upcoming standalone film, it became clear that this would be a darker, more grounded take on the character than the Joker audiences had last seen, portrayed by Jared Leto.
Are you sweet-talking me?
The first poster released was this teaser one-sheet, consisting of a still frame from a pivotal scene in the film. The Joker is facing upward, with Joaquin Phoenix blood-smeared and barely recognizable in the role. At the beginning of the film, we meet Arthur at a low point in his life. He's mocked, abused, and ignored by many of his fellow Gotham citizens, slowly trudging through a strained existence. You can feel his struggle with each grueling step, each repressed laugh. He asks his social worker to increase his medication.
Arthur, you're on 7 different medications.
I just don't want to feel so bad anymore.
Early in the film, we are shown Arthur picking up his prescriptions from a pharmacy, but we're never actually shown him taking any medication. Pill bottles are opened and then the camera cuts away. They appear sporadically in scenes, just off to the side. In one scene, it appears Arthur might be crushing and stirring the pills into a bowl of oatmeal and serving it to his mother, but he never seems to take the medication himself. Later, when his mother's being taken to the hospital, the paramedics ask him,
"Does your mother take any medications?"
No.
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you.
No.
Eventually, when Arthur has fully embraced his Joker persona, he freely admits,
I stopped taking my medication. I feel a lot better now.
Oh, okay. Good feel.
so why are the filmmakers showing us this? What does it signify? Well, I am no psychiatrist, but the fantastic YouTube channel Cinema Therapy took a look at this movie and diagnosed Arthur with bipolar disorder, specifically bipolar 1 and pseudobulbar effect.
Pseudobulbar effect.
Pseudobulbar, yeah.
Of course.
When it comes to bipolar is I have manic episodes where I feel like I'm on top of the world, I can do anything, I have all this great energy, and then I fall into depressed episodes. And I feel hopeless, despair, negative thoughts, my life isn't gonna amount to anything.
It was like nobody ever saw me. Even I didn't know if I really existed.
Director Todd Phillips, along with cinematographer Lawrence Sher, represent Arthur's highs and lows visually, with early scenes being desaturated and drab, and later moments being bright and colorful. Joaquin Phoenix is famous for improvising on set, finding his character in the moment, and came up with this dancing motion on the spot when filming a scene of Arthur's first taste of defiant violence. It could almost be described as a butterfly slowly emerging from its cocoon. Dancing becomes an important aspect of Arthur's character. It's woven throughout the story, representing his inner state outwardly. He blissfully dances away from a job he was fired from, imagines others marveling at his movements, and this all comes to a head with the now famous staircase dance, Arthur's literal, joyous descent. So what does this image mean? You could say that it symbolizes letting go, freedom, a weight has been lifted. Who doesn't want their shining moment basking in the sun? Taken on its own, this poster is a colorful celebration of a charismatic character reaching his peak. But this is just a poster released before the film, and when we first saw this poster, the audience doesn't know yet that he's killed 5 people, one only minutes ago, and he's on his way to carry out a brutal plan of more violence and mayhem. While Warner Brothers would release several other posters for the film, I think this is the strongest one by far. Phoenix is beautifully framed by the staircase rails, creating lines of force that naturally guide all eyes towards him. The sunshine backlights his green hair and flares around his legs, adding points of intrigue to the composition. The typography, weathered and simplistic, feels secondary and doesn't compete with the powerful imagery above. This feels more like the work of an acclaimed photographer rather than a piece of advertisement screaming for attention. This poster was created by Bond, an LA-based marketing agency responsible for countless film campaigns. Their goal in advertising Joker was to craft a new vision that's gritty, provocative, and unexpected. Warner Brothers used this poster as the cover for the DVD release of the film, along with the soundtrack release from Icelandic composer Hildur Gundadóttir, a musical score that won her an Academy Award. Also, shout out to my local Vancouver Public Library. For the Blu-ray release, they opted for this somewhat forgettable profile shot, and for the 4K release, they went with a still from a scene near the end of the film when the Joker appears on the Murray Franklin show. For the release of the sequel, Joker Folie, Deux, I feel like Warner Brothers regressed into a more standard style of advertising. Show your stars, large faces, pure promotion. The main one-sheet has some glimmers of creativity, but falls a little flat in my opinion. It feels carefully composed, but not in a good way. Photoshopped rays of light fall on our imprisoned characters in a strange, unnatural way, while they dance with stoic faces. The image has a beauty to it, but it's also cold and unfeeling. The sequel's title, Folie Deux, is the French term for a shared psychosis, translated as madness of two. You can see this visually represented in the poster for the IMAX release of the film, but the composition has none of the provocative intrigue of the original. The colors feel off, the lighting looks fake, and the whole poster just feels digitally composited. You can tell they're not really on that staircase. Maybe that's the point? Folie Deux is a creative swing, but sadly I would say it's mostly a swing and a miss. Phoenix still brings a special something to his role, and a few of the musical numbers are elevated, but the film takes itself way too seriously and is often plotting and grim. I actually think there's a really solid hour and 20-minute movie hidden within this 2-hour and 18-minute mess. The 2019 original can be easily dismissed as a Taxi Driver clone or the favorite movie of your local edgelord, but I think that does the film a disservice. It's layered, with a detailed world that rewards repeat viewing, and there is a nuance and complexity in the performance of Joaquin Phoenix, earning him an Oscar for Best Actor and a Best Picture nomination for the film.
We share the same love, the love of film, and this form of expression has given me the most extraordinary life.
Good art makes you feel, and this poster makes me feel joyful. It's powerful and beautiful in a way, which is totally f***ed up. Why am I drawn to this villain dancing with joy at the demise of his enemies? I don't entirely know, but I can't look away, and neither could audiences back in 2019, making Joker one of the biggest hits of the year. This staircase in the Bronx is now a tourist attraction, with countless film fans making a pilgrimage to these iconic steps to reenact their favorite scene. Why do we keep coming back to this character? Depictions of the Joker on movie screens now span close to 60 years, forming a cinematic tradition that constantly builds on itself. The well is deep, and the water is dark, but inviting. This has been Paper and Light. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to show you more.
Isn't it beautiful?
Hey, if you like this kind of movie poster, deep dive content, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what kind of movie posters you want me to tackle in the future. And stay safe on those staircases, people. Dancing down a staircase really could be dangerous. It might be slippery, might end up on YouTube.